Welcome back. Let me quickly introduce our guest for this segment, Martin Milandi, the Technical Director of the Nigeria Volleyball Federation. It's good to have you join us this morning, Martin.
It's my pleasure to be here.
There's a lot to talk about this morning, but let me allow Cecilia talk about the things that we should be talking about, the activities of your federation, but maybe we'll just start it off talking about what just happened recently.
Yeah, we'll talk about what's going on right now in Nairobi, Kenya, where you have Team Nigeria booking a spot in the semi-finals of the Volleyball Nations Championship taking place in Nairobi, Kenya. The girls were able to beat Tanzania. They needed to win on Thursday to be able to get into the semi-finals, and they did that at 3 wonders after they were able to beat Kenya, host nation, and all that. So they are in the semi-finals right now, which is a plus for the girls progressing up to this one. I mean, from what's been going on right there in Kenya, how far do you think they can go for the title? Because this is the first time they are actually competing at this event in 15 years.
Yes, we started from qualification in Niger.
Okay.
In preparation for qualification for the African Youth Games. Unfortunately, they couldn't make it to the African Youth Games. Only the boys' counterpart were able to make it because of us. We now came back home and keep training to see that we keep the girls together, because that is the only strategy that for teamwork. Looking at their performance in Kenya, we are not surprised, though this is their first time. Though they lost to Cameroon 3-1 in their first outing, I'm sure that must be due to some nervousness and things. But in the subsequent game, you can see they beat Kenya at home 3-1. And they went ahead to beat Tanzania 3-1 as well. So they are in the semi-finals now, and they'll be meeting Egypt in their semi-finals round.
All right.
It's going to be a tough one because Egyptians are a volleyball nation, and going by the age group competition, having beaten Egypt in the African Youth Games, our under 19 boys, we are confident that the strategy we're going to use will also see us emerging to finals.
I have an interesting question. People have asked me this and I've not been able to answer. Some will say, what's the selection criteria? Some look around and say, okay, where are the leagues? How did you assemble? And I mean, you're the best person to answer that question. How did you assemble these girls? Was there a league? I mean, some of those questions, even I try to wrap my head around it. I can't really get the answer, but I'm very sure you can answer that.
Yes, this new board, when we came on board under the leadership of President Engineer Nimrod Musa, we sat down and looked at our antecedent, and we discovered that, okay, the national teams have aged, and therefore we are not getting the results. So we went back to board and said, okay, let's go back to the age groups, so that we develop the game from the grassroots. As I speak to you now, we already have a league in place, which is one of the strategy. We have already played the ground rounds. We have played the round of 16.
All right.
We are going to the Premier League in October.
All right.
Between 10 to 17th of October.
Yes.
So the league, it is during this process of the league that we assign coaches to scout for these young players and other competitions that were taking place. We also organize an open screening for age groups, where you come and display your talent. No restriction. It's not as if, oh, this coach does not like my face, so he did not invite me. Just come on your own. Free accommodation, free feeding. You just come and display your skills. As you are playing, the coaches will be...
The national team selectors.
Yes. Will be picking the players. That is how we assemble these teams.
Okay.
And we now put them in camp together, those selected. And looking at the age group, we also have a guideline criteria, like the under 20 girls that are only girls that are born from 1st January 2000 and above and after are qualified
to
make this team. So if you are born in 1999, you are not qualified, despite the fact that you are still under 19.
Under 19, yeah.
So you can see the criteria. For the boys, only boys that are born on 1st January 1999 and after are qualified to play under 21. So you can see that there is 1 year step down, so that these players will be able to play within this age group for about a year or two before they age out of that group, which is good.
Okay, now talking about that, there's going to be the you mentioned the guys right now, the under 21 that Nigeria will be hosting in Abuja, the under 21 championship from what date's now, from 10th of September, right?
Yes.
In Abuja. Now, what's preparations like, knowing that usually that late-minute logistics problems and all that we usually have when we're organizing events? Have you guys put everything in place to ensure that it will be hitch-free, no issues at all?
Well, the first challenge was the confirmation for the hosting, which came late, around 12th of August. The CAVB
That's really
notified us that, okay, you have now been given the hosting right 12th of August. The letter was addressed. And quickly the board assembled and sat in a meeting and said, okay, what are we going to do? We quickly called the boys in camp. We have already done the open camp already. We already have the players that are selected, plus some few players from the under-19 boys that went to African Games. Which we injected into the team because they are still within the age group. So they are currently in camp in Kaduna as I speak, in preparation for this tournament.
Okay.